Hello everybody, and sorry for being a little bit late. A couple of technical issues, but all is good. How is everybody doing? Oh, not too bad. I am good. A little bit tired on night shift last night, but it's all good. I have been painting away, working on my my Sons of Horus. I'm 100% a live a airbrush convert now, so it's pretty good. But yeah, so let the chat build up. I am running a little bit late, I do apologize, but yeah, it's all good. Let's see if everything's working. Stream is healthy. Ooh, I'm getting lots of love apparently, although I can't really see that. Excellent. Right, awesome. Source, we are up and running. So yeah, welcome to 2-inch charge. So basically the idea behind this is there's a lot of channels do these live streams. Valrak does one, Winters does one, Pardo from SM Battle Reports does one. So I figured, you know what, I can do this. I can sit there and waffle for an hour. We can have a talk about various things. So I just want to mainly focus this on things about the Horus Heresy, the old world, bit of 40k, a bit of Age Sigmar as well. Every now and again I might do a little bit of painting. Also, you know, maybe, you know, get a couple of people on and maybe do a little bit of Space Marine as well. So I just want to sort of build up a live stream once a week around the channel and start building that community. Because I think that's one thing that's lacking on the channel. That and painting tutorials, which are coming. I've been playing around with the camera today and I've now got the perfect angle. I just need to get the lighting and everything sorted for it, and then I can actually start getting back into the old tutorials. So it's really, really good. But yeah, if you are in the chat, feel free to drop a comment or anything else. Let me know to see if that is actually working. No idea if any of the notifications or anything are working. I might have to pull everything out and put it all back in again, but we'll see how it goes. We'll wing it. It's all good. But yeah, so LVO this weekend is, well, LVO Friday morning. Now, unfortunately, I am working Thursday night, so otherwise I would be doing a live stream for it. I would have got up for 5 and done a live stream watch along. But yeah, I'm going to be in work till 7, so I will probably get home. If it's quiet enough, I'll probably watch the live stream in work. And then I'll get home and then I'll start doing the content and get the content out up on the channel. Yeah, I'm expecting to see some pretty cool things this weekend or this Friday morning. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I think they're going to drop some pretty big teasers, to be fair. Especially with they kind of sort of changed some of the wording around their articles as well. If you originally read the original article, it kind of implied that everything in those silhouettes was going to be what was being shown at the LVO, but they've since then have changed the wording to some of this may be seen at the LVO. You know, this other parts will be shown later in the year, which is probably to do with the Thanatar, because obviously myself and a lot of other people started working out that that isn't, you know, listed as a part of the game systems that they're going to be doing. And you know, it's like, you know, it's clearly a Horus Heresy miniature, a new plastic kit. So that was you know, so they rechanged the wording. So we are going to probably see the Emperor's Children in a lot of the glory. A lot of people still speculating that we're probably only going to see Lucius the Eternal. I don't think we are. I think the fact that they've literally shown us Fulgrim, I think this is where we get the full army reveal. How far away are they before we can get our hands on the models? I would say they are probably going to be coming back end of May at the earliest. So the Imperial Guard have only just got their army box, which is interesting. They haven't fully released yet, so it's only the army box that's come out. So I'm not expecting to see that release until next month, until February. And then I would probably see at some point next month the Eldar army box to drop with a lot of the new sort of aspect warriors in it and the Phoenix Lords. And then that get their full release in March. And then I'm fully expecting to see the Imperial Knights come out in and around sort of end of March, like April time. And then, but I do think that when we get, is it Adapticon in March? I think that's when they'll sort of announce like the Emperor's Children will be coming very, very soon. And we'll probably also get to see the World Eaters, because they kind of hinted that the World Eaters coming later on in the Easter, which is around about March, April time, so it should be kind of good. But yeah, LVO is going to be pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to that, to be fair. I think it's going to be quite a nice sort of nice set of previews, to be honest. But yeah, but that's the LVO. So getting on to the Horus Heresy. Now, the Horus Heresy, I've seen a lot of people talking about this of late regarding you know, things like the new edition, right? This new edition that apparently is coming for the Horus Heresy. I don't think it is, and we're going to be looking at the FAQ for the Old World later. But I don't think we're going to be getting anything in regards to the Heresy when it comes to a new edition. I just don't see it. People seem to forget that this is the specialist design studio that does the Horus Heresy. It's not the main studio. It taken those guys like 18 months to get us an FAQ, and we've only really had like the one really sort of big patch regarding the Old World, really, and even then there's still like major issues in the game. A lot of people are complaining about Pegasus Knights and stuff like that. Like none of this is getting touched. Like you're not getting 3 monthly balance updates in regards to the game. Like the Horus Heresy, even 2 years in, almost 3 years in, we haven't had any points updates at all. So you know the whole thing about them getting a like a new edition, it just doesn't make sense. If they can't update the points or do timely FAQs on the game, what chance have they got to actually pump out a new edition every 3 years? So it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So you know, I can't see that happening. Let's have a little look at the Warhammer. So I can't honestly see it. So I know it would be kind of cool, and I know everyone's getting excited about it, and there's rumors galore, but we would have probably seen something around about now. We would have probably seen some form of photo of a box set, or we'd have had you know, a real conclusive rumors that there is a new edition. Like, and all we've really had is a few weird Reddit posts, and then likes of Pardo and Meta's Miniatures talk about it. Like, I don't even think Valrak has made any content on it, and normally he's pretty reliable when it comes to the rumors, which I reluctantly hate to say. And I've gone through every part of the sources that I have, and none of them have come back saying about a new edition. It seems to be more of a new box set is definitely on the horizon. If that's a new starter box or a new sort of set, from the way I was it was described to me, it was going to be like sort of a new era, a new phase of the Heresy, and it was kind of described as that this is us going to be moving into that sort of the Siege of Terror type sort of era of the game, where we would be fighting on Terra and everything else with the campaign books built in and around Terra, because it kind of makes sense. That's the big set of books that are out right now. You know, that's kind of how they left it. They are going to build it up to sort of bring out the Emperor at some stage. You know, he is going to get a model. That's a whole video in itself about talking, should we have a model for the Emperor? Should we not have a model for him? But we have Horus Ascended, so it kind of makes sense that we're going to get Horus Sorry, the Emperor at some stage. So yeah, but it's all going to be interesting and fun, and it's the rumors stuff is quite amusing. I don't often try to sort of get into it too much in regards to you know, what we're getting and what we're not getting, but yeah, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but yeah. So there's been some pretty cool stuff from the Horus Heresy these past couple of weeks. Obviously, the Praetor, the Praetors and the consoles, which is really good. Now it's Thursday would be interesting to see what we get. We're going to get the Traitor Legionary standard, which would be kind of cool. I'm actually really looking forward to Heresy Thursday this week, just to see what that model's going to look like. I'm actually quite excited about it because the Loyalist one, the body, the Marine itself is quite nice, but the actual banner itself is pretty like meh. So you know, I can kind of see like getting a really nice looking Traitor one, which would be really, really cool. So that'd be quite cool. Is anybody in the chat that actually plays the Horus Heresy? Because it's going to be awesome. Right, we're pressing the wrong buttons. But yeah, there's some pretty good models. I'm tempted to get the Loyalist Legion Standard bearer purely just for the body alone. Like that's really, really quite nice. I mean, I'll get it up. I'm gonna have a little look at it. So he is a pretty nice model. I mean, like, yeah, he is quite nice. I mean, I did a video on him, so we've already covered him in a video already. But like, I think the aesthetics of this model is pretty cool. I mean, the Power Fist, yeah, the Power Fist is pretty cool. Personally, I would get rid of that and give him a sword, because it just seems a little bit more fitting rather than a Power Fist. And that Power Fist would look really quite nice on a Centurion or something along those lines. I quite like the head. Even the bear head is quite nice. Now, I know a lot of people, and I myself said this was a little bit small, and like have commented about this being the actual banner itself being small. But if you think about it, right, what's the Overseer thing on the right? The Overseers. I'll go through the Overseers in a minute, Tom. So a lot of people have sort of mentioned the fact that this thing is small, the actual banner itself. But if you actually look at a Vexilla in a Legion army from the actual Roman legions, this is pretty much what they look like. You know, you had the big Imperial Eagle on the top, the Golden Eagle, and then you had the small flag banner underneath. So it kind of is very sort of apt and fits in with the Roman Legion aesthetic, which is a lot of what Space Marines are essentially based on, especially during the Heresy and the Legions itself. So, you know, aesthetically, that's kind of cool. Now, the Overseer, so we've got two. We've got this guy here, which is the Loyalist one. And I quite like this model. I like this guy. I think the head is really nice. The actual body, the ornamentation of it is pretty cool. I reckon if you got a decent looking skull helmet, you have a really nice looking Heresy era chaplain miniature right there. And that head would work really, really, really. Hey, Nicholas. That head would look really good on a Legion champion, be it the Loyalist one or the Traitor one. But that body, for me, give it a decent skull helmet. That is screaming, absolute screaming chaplain. Like you've got this sort of Crozius already, and that would be really cool. So obviously, if no one knows what the Overseers are, They're essentially the consuls, the centurions that kind of oversee the, because they're overseers, kind of look after the solar auxiliary and the human element of the Legion fighting force. So if you want to bring some auxiliary infantry, you know, because you might want a platoon of 100 of them led by this guy, you can do that. And that's basically what this allows you to do. The rules for them are in the new campaign book, Beta Garmin, and they're pretty decent. There's some really quite nice little, sort of touches to that, which is quite nice. Now, you also obviously have the trader version, which is this guy. This model is just superb. You really get that Chaos Space Marine feel to it, which is really, really cool. I like the head, the damaged eye. Now, there is an actual picture in the book itself. So the Beta Garmin campaign book, there is a picture of him, and it's like they've taken this picture and just made a miniature out of him. I'll have a look in here and see if I can find him. Hey, Mr. Mythos. Thank you very much for the $4.99, you crazy legend. For the Thunderhawk. Yes, I'm going to be... my plan for my Heresy or my 40k is to get a Thunderhawk. Obviously, I will be going to China and supporting the Chinese Communist Party of recasting and getting one there. I used to be a little bit against it, but yeah, now I just don't care. Let's be completely honest. Games Workshop are never going to put me on their partner program, so I'm never going to be getting sent free stuff for them. So why should I give a shit what they think? So, you know, let's just continue doing me and looking after me. And if that means getting cheap models, then hey, I'm all for that. So yes, hello my Chinese overlords. So yeah, this book is actually really good. If you don't have the Beta Garmin campaign book and you are into your Horus Heresy, then I really do recommend picking it up. It is a very, very good book. It has the rules for the Black Shields, which is obviously your unaligned Marine forces, the guys that kind of went, we're not for the Emperor or the Warmaster, we just want to survive, which is an interesting army list in itself. And then you also have some rules for the Solar Auxiliary, and you get the Shattered Legions as well. Loyalist and Traitor, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it also has a really quite nice new campaign system in it. The actual campaign itself is really, really good. And yeah, it's like it's a pretty impressive campaign book compared to the first one. We got the Siege of Chthoniya, which was all right. It was not a bad book. I don't have it yet, but I will get it for my shelf because I kind of want them all. Because I've got my rule book, my Loyalist, my Trader book, and then I've got my Beta Garmin book. I will get Siege of Chthoniya eventually because they are quite nice books. The like you get some really cool like artwork of a World Eater, which is really quite nice. Like it's not often you see them almost entirely in pure white armor. Kind of messed up with all of the damage, but you kind of get what I'm saying. But yeah, there is a picture of the Overseer in here. I'm trying to find him. A lot of cool pictures of White Scars and Blood Angels and stuff. The rules for the Shattered Legions is a bit mental. There's a lot going on there, and you kind of really sort of need to sort of sit down and read it. And it's got its own little rules sort of in it and how it works. You've got some updated rules, obviously, for the Solar Auxiliary, which is pretty sweet. Solar Auxiliary is an army that I would definitely be tempted to do in the future. But I would probably kind of want to use the new Krieg miniatures only because the new Krieg plastics are amazing. Like, they really are really, really nice. Like, as an ex-British soldier, I've always wanted to do a guard army, but I know that I could probably never do them the way I would want to do them. So, you know, that's why I stick to power armor. Plus, I'm a Space Marine fanboy. I just love my power armor. I can't find that picture at all. There is literally a picture of him. There's either a picture of him in the Beta Garmin book, or there's a picture of him in one of the other books. But there is a picture, and you can probably get the color plate there. But it's identical to this miniature, like identical. I guarantee when I sit there and read this book later, I'll find it, which will be annoying. But yeah, it's we've got this guy. He's really nice. I will be getting him. I don't know if I'll ever use an overseer in like this unless I convert one, which is kind of cool. But I do quite like it, and I definitely think there's elements of this that could be used in other things. Obviously, the Spacey Wolves got some new stuff. I like this model. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is kind of cool. I'm not massively fan of his hipster, you know, Instagram Viking hairstyle that we see a lot on Instagram. But the actual model itself is pretty nice. I really quite like the helmet that it actually comes with. That, I don't know, it kind of gives me hope that we might actually see some really cool looking Mark V in the future in plastic. Because this miniature has an amalgamation of so many different pieces of armor. It's really, really kind of cool. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one. That is, you know, a pretty cool looking one. This guy, like, wow. Like, the Iron Hands really got some proper love here. Now, in my video, when I talked about this guy, I turned around and said, all we need now is a Terminator guy. And I completely forgot that the Iron Hands do actually have a Forge Father for the Horus Heresy. There is an actual Forge Father miniature for them in Terminator plate. So this kind of means that they've now got a Terminator variant and a Power Armored variant, which is kind of cool. The bare head on this, if you can call it a bare head, is so good. Like that head is just so good. It, like, the attention to detail on this one is really, really, really impressive. Yeah, so I was like, wow, that is really cool. And then obviously, you know, the Iron Warriors finally get some love that they deserve. And they finally get a Warsmith in Terminator plate. As an American soldier myself, I've noticed that 40k and 30k to a lesser extent really appeals to soldiers. I wonder. Hey, man, it's the bolter pawn, boys. It's the bolter pawn. I've always been a fan of Space Marines. Like, always. I have been a Space Marine fanboy since the age of 9. My babysitter gave me a load of Rogue Trader Marines and metal models and rhinos and a polystyrene fantasy castle, and I basically played with Space Marines like you would with little toy soldiers. And then I got some White Dwarfs and was starting to read the stories and the articles in it, and from that point on, I just fell in love with Warhammer, and Space Marines as a whole. Just have always encapsulated my imagination. They are everything that you as a soldier would want to be. They are soldiers, but they are at a whole different level. They're just so cool. And obviously today as well, we had the fiscal report, and the fiscal report, like, holy crap. Pretty much, Games Workshop have confirmed that we're not only getting TV shows, but we're also going to be getting movies from this whole deal with Amazon as well. Which is mental to think that potentially we're going to have movies in the cinema for 40k. Like, and I know there's rumors going around. I've heard little bits and pieces that they are kind of looking at the Heresy as a potential thing for this this movie thing. That would be amazing, but, like, you know, are the normies, the general public, ready for that much carnage and that much bolter porn? I would love it. I would see it multiple times. But yeah, there's just so many cool things on the horizon for potentially getting. Yeah, like you know, it's at first we thought this was just going to be a TV show with Henry Cavill, which is amazing in itself. But the prospect is that they're not only looking at multiple TV shows, but they're looking at movies too. I will say this now, and it'll be interesting if I'm proved wrong. I can see Warhammer 40k becoming the next MCU in regards to the biggest, like, franchise wise for movies and films, purely because it has such an incredible backstory and lore, and it's so big and it's so detailed, and the guys that write it are really good at doing it, and Games Workshop are incredibly protective of it. Like, I can see, like, this being the next big thing. You know, we've, like, you can sort of look back at sort of big TV sort of things in sci-fi, like Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, things like that. And I think something along the lines with 40k is definitely potential of doing that. And, like, you know, hold on to your hats, because, like, Games Workshop's about to go Disney. It's going to get crazy. It's going to go mental. And I think the closer and closer we get to whatever comes, I think the bigger Warhammer is going to become. Like, if you read the fiscal report, which I have done, there's a lot of really interesting stuff in there. Their numbers for Warhammer Plus are going up. Like, it's almost at 250,000 subscribers to it. Like, I'm pretty vocal about how bad Warhammer Plus is, because a lot of what you get in it is essentially better for free on YouTube by, you know, YouTubers. The level of the amount of animations you're getting isn't really worth it, because you're not really getting that much. I would only really resubscribe to Warhammer Plus again if it meant getting a really cool looking miniature that I could want, and that would only be if it's a Chaos Space Marine or a Loyalist Marine, or a really, really, really cool looking Age of Sigmar miniature. Until then, like, no, why would you want to? Why would you bother? Why would you care? Like to use the apps, okay. You still pay £5.99 for the app, or you get for Warhammer Plus and you get the apps, but you don't get everything for free in the apps. You still have to buy the codex to unlock the army list. You're essentially, your subscription to Warhammer Plus allows you to make multiple army lists. Is that worth $5.99? Not really. So, you know, there's a lot of the benefits for it don't outweigh the negativity, which is not as good as what it could be. Now, I would love to support them again. I subscribed for the first 3 years annually, paid my £50 up front, and at the beginning it was great. I watched Angels of Death countless times because it's really, really good. Bolter and Chainsword was really, really good. And then the content, the animation content just started dipping off. And now it's like non-existent. So hopefully with them moving into things with Amazon and likes of the secret level animation, maybe this is a new sort of chapter in that, where we can actually get some decent content, rather than what essentially is you're paying $5.99 for what I would say is basically just a video version of White Dwarf. You're getting a battle report, which is not really a battle report. It's kind of an advert for the latest pre-order. You're getting a Lore Master, which is essentially an advert for the latest pre-order. Painting videos, which are essentially adverts for the latest pre-orders. That's kind of the general gist that it's turned into, which is such a shame, because it had such promise to be something so much bigger than what it actually is, and that's kind of sad. But then that's the corporate level coming into it and taking over and kind of sort of demanding how it went. Like, I don't understand why they do not have Nick on a Saturday or a Sunday or during the week when pre-orders are announced, reading the codex and literally showing the codex or the new battle tome off for the new army that is currently on pre-order, exclusively for Warhammer Plus players, subscribers. I would subscribe just for that, because those videos, likes of going to Ash at Guerrilla Miniatures Wargaming or whatever his name is, they were the kind of videos that I would use to sort of influence my my decision to buy into an army. So I would look at the video, I'd watch the video, I'd pause it, read the rules that are on the screen, and then decide, yeah, okay, I'm going to pre-order this, or I'm going to jump into this, and I'm going to collect this army. Because you already get that initial sort of interest. Is it going to be any good? Is it going to be fun to play? Are the rules for these units kind of cool? Yay or nay? Where rather than give that to YouTubers, put it behind a paywall and allow your subscribers and your loyal customers to get that information first. And that would be kind of cool, you know, that would be kind of cool. But obviously Games Workshop don't think like that. So it's a shame. But yeah, back to the Heresy. Because I went on a waffle a bit too much there. But yeah, this one I like. I really, really like this model. I think it's really, really, really nice. But there's some really cool Heresy stuff coming. And a lot of cool stuff has been coming. Now, obviously, we've had the Old World got an FAQ today. Kind of today, yesterday, which was kind of interesting. And when we say an FAQ, it's not amazing. It's not massively great. It kind of fixes a few problems. Now, one of the rules in it is really good because it's kind of really funny because the rules writers get quite sassy with the actual person that obviously sent this in, which is quite fun. Let me see if I can find it. It is quite a giggle when you actually read it. Where is it? It is quite funny with their level of sass. But there are a few little changes, like nice little subtle changes. Oh, here it is here. This one here. This question right here. This is hilarious. So this did make me chuckle when I read this. So the question was, does a magic standard that affects a unit's weapons, the Razor standard, for example, also make these weapons magical, giving them the magic attack special rule? Right? Obviously not. You're taking a magic banner, like, you know, that's not going to affect the unit's weapons. Nice try. Whoever was playing that, horrible person. Their answer is just absolute priceless. Not unless the description of the magic standard in question states that the weapon of a unit carrying it gain the magical attack special rule. Generally speaking, purchasing a magic item doesn't conjure up additional bonuses from the ether. And like the thing is, somebody sent that question in because they've either had it done to them or they've been trying to do that themselves, which is really quite good. There are a couple of others, which is quite nice as well. I'm wondering if I'm wondering if this is actually made Hellstone Wargaming Mikey rage quit again when he sort of would have done it, because yeah, that was quite fun. Watching that was quite amusing. That was actually a funny live stream for Mikey. He basically there was a rule on the dragon, and it has the bites, I believe, the bites or the claws. Basically, you just roll one dice, and it has decapitating strike, which basically instant kills whoever you wound. And basically, I think it's a roll of a 6, you get instant kill. And basically, Mikey was implying that all of the dragon's attacks would benefit from this. And when they FAQ'd it to basically say, no, you literally just roll one dice, that's it. It's one attack, that's all you get, and that's all you get for it. He literally read it and then rage quit his stream, turned it off, and rage quit. It was so funny to see, because he'd basically been going to tournaments and doing this at tournaments against people, and people were calling him out for cheating, which he was, because that's not how the rule works. And we have the exact same rule in the Horus Heresy as well, which is kind of funny, like a servo arm with a big sort of weird mechanical arm that Space Marines sometimes have, like Tech Marines and Iron Warriors and stuff like that. That is literally exactly the same thing. It is a one attack weapon that does its rules. That's it. Doesn't affect anything else. It's just literally just roll one attack, one dice, one attack. That's it, done. So yeah, it was quite funny, sort of seeing that. But yeah, but getting back onto the Heresy in regards to the new edition. If anyone wasn't here when I was talking about that, what does everyone think? Does everyone want a new edition for the Horus Heresy? Do you want? So if you play the Horus Heresy or the Old World, would you want Games Workshop to give you a 3-year edition cycle? Now, I'd make a poll, but there's only like 3 of you, so I'm not bothered making a poll. But you know, like, is that something that you would want? Like, is that something that you would want from the game? Personally, for myself, who play both, I wouldn't want it. I don't think we need a 3-year edition for either game, quite honestly. Purely because I don't think the studio can handle it, quite honestly. I really don't. I don't think they would be able to actually get everything out in a timely fashion. It's just because they can barely get FAQs out now, and you want them to produce a new edition every 3 years. That's just not really going to work at all. But yeah. Now, there is a little bit of kind of cool on the water thing. What is this? What does everyone think this is? Is that Games Workshop teasing a swooping hawk when we already know they're coming? What other armies haven't had a codex yet that has a very imperial looking wing? Or is that going to be Age of Sigmar? It's not Stormcast Eternal because they're out already. Could it be Cities of Sigmar? Could this be a new wing for Cities of Sigmar? I heard an interesting theory that this could potentially be a helmet for a new Raven Wing model for the Dark Angels, but they're already out, so I find that hard to see. Potential new Space Marine, maybe? Could it be a wing for a Raven Guard Praetor for the Horus Heresy? It's a lot of potential for this one. There's a lot of cool armies that they could probably be as well. So, but yeah, that would be kind of cool. But Mr. Mythos, how are you today? How are you tonight? Are you on? Are you on later on doing some Space Marine and Helldivers? If I can stay awake, I may actually Helldiver it, to be completely honest. Also, big thank you to Mr. Mythos. He is the one that does my logos and stuff. So the 2-inch charge logo with the 2 dice, that is down to Mr. Mythos. He is a very, very cool guy. And he also printed that helmet and that gun and that bolt pistol over there for me. He is a very talented guy when it comes to his printing wizardry. But yeah, that helmet is something I definitely want to be working on this year. I might put up a community post up on the channel and ask, like, you know, what chapter shall I do that in? I do need to get some Bondo, that putty stuff that you need to get in, and then the sandpaper, and then I can actually start sanding it down and smoothing it down, and then I'll get it primed and painted. As you can see with the guns, I've already started priming that. And I need to sort of, like, you know, tidy it up and get it cleaned up, and then I need to do the bolt pistol as well. And there is a chain axe just behind the bolter as well, which is kind of cool. So yeah, got all of the cool props. But what's really kind of cool is I've actually got a new shelving unit that's going to be coming soon for the back of here, so that's going to look a little bit better and a little bit tidier, because I'm going to have a cupboard where I'm going to hide things. But I also share this room with Mrs. Pointy. Her little corner is over here where she works during the day when working from home. So we're trying to sort of get this to be a little bit more comfortable for both of us. And obviously I have my new desk now, which is kind of nice. So yeah, it's all good. But yeah, we've been going for nearly an hour. Oh my lord, we really have. It's been amazing. Good. But yeah, I want to get more of these. I'm going to be doing a lot more sort of topics. I want to be sort of talking about a lot more things. Obviously next week, Tuesday next week, we're going to be obviously delving into LVO and chatting and reminiscing about the previews and the potential teasers of what we're going to be getting at Friday morning, because they're going to be teasing us with some stuff that we're going to be getting later on in the year. So Tuesday next week, that's what we'll be discussing about. I just need to finish off the Discord, and then we're going to have a little, then I'll be getting that up and running for next week. And then if you want to join the Discord and help start becoming a part of a community around the channel, then that's how we're going to do it. I need to sort of work out how to be able to separate members and non-members, so they have their 2 different areas. And yeah, so we're going to be able to do that. Painting videos wise, we're going to be getting some of them, so really excited for that. I am a full-on airbrush convert, by the way. So yeah, if anyone has not seen, let me just, I'll show you my Instagram and you can see the pictures. And one of the things I also want to do on the Discord is community photos. So what we'll do is we'll have a community section on the Discord, where you're going to be able to show your work off, and then during these streams I'll bring it up and we'll have a little look at them of what everyone's been working on, and I'll sort of pick out the ones I really like if there's a lot of them. So yeah, and that'll be basically, you know, where we can do that. But so, you know, airbrushing, massive. I'm massively converted about airbrushing, and I'm basically, this is my Sons of Horus, which I'm currently working on. Obviously my Blood Angel captain there, which is sort of been done. The banner, which I'm really kind of chuffed with. But yeah, these guys are all airbrushed and using oil paints. I'm going to be doing a video tomorrow, sort of going into it a little bit more, talking about it, and then I'm sort of building up for the tutorial that I'm going to be doing for them. And that's the banner itself. That's entirely freehand. I had a lot of fun doing that. I really did kind of enjoy it. I do want to sort of smooth out these lines, the sort of highlighted lines down in the black, I just want to blend them out a little bit more, so I'll probably go back and do that. But I think as a gaming piece, I think it's quite nice. I think it'll look pretty decent. It'll look pretty decent on the table. So yeah, pretty cool. It was fun starting it. Obviously, like that's the Thanatat. So obviously that's how it kind of started. I did the line and I sort of sketched all this in and started doing the highlighting. I'm not gonna lie. When I initially started it, in my head I was like, this is a really good idea. When I got to this point, I was a bit like, what have I done? Why am I not using decals? Yeah, and it kind of was like, yeah, not great. I kind of finished off and added this bit into it. Sort of wanted to get a rough idea about this, highlights and how I was going to do it. Did the non-metallic around the sides, sort of just to sort of make it look a little bit better. And at this stage, I was very much into the mindset of trust the process, just trust it, let it do its thing, you know, see it through to the end. It'll be fine, and don't worry too much about that. You know, the decals would have been a lot easier, but just trust the process. It's all going to be good. And then obviously we get to that, which is eventually where we end up and finishing it off. But yeah, the army itself is quite fun. I've done a little bit more work on these 5 guys. These guys, I just need to finish the shoulder pads off on the things. I kind of had the idea of having them black, but then I realized that I'm probably not going to, or probably will do. And I don't understand why I kept them off when I could have kept them on and just airbrushed them while they were on the model. I'm learning the whole airbrushing thing, and the oils and everything else as I go along. And then I've done a little bit more work on these. The weapons have slightly been done. This banner is going to be getting a bit of freehand on it. I've done a bit of highlighting, and then I've basically been mostly focusing on the Praetor today. So the body part of him is almost finished. So yeah, but that's what I've been working on. But next week we will have a tab where you'll be able to join the Discord, and we'll have the 2-inch charge miniature highlights. So if you want to show off your work, we'll have that up there. And that's what I used to do on Twitch. So you know, we'll do it over here, and we'll do that as well. But yeah, it's all good. But I just wanted to sort of kick this off tonight and get the first one in. Sort of like, you know, the numbers have been pretty decent. I'm quite happy with that. I'll be completely honest. You know, it's actually quite good. You know, thank you, Mr. Mythos, for your crazy generosity as usual. But you already do enough for the channel, so please don't need to do that. And then we'll see how the rest of it goes. And I just want to get a weekly stream in so I can create that community around the channel. This year is definitely a big make or break for me in regards to YouTube. I really want to hit that 5,000 subscriber mark. This is basically the 3rd year I'll be doing YouTube. Since coming back from Twitch. I've done it before, but never really successful, and I didn't really have the computer and the camera and everything else to do it properly. So, you know, there's no excuse now of not being able to do it, like, legit. So, really working hard this year to get the channel up to 5,000 subscribers. I think if we don't hit 5K, I think next year will potentially, if it doesn't blow up next year, would probably be the last year for me, and then I'd probably just stick to being generally enjoying my hobby and not doing the sort of social media YouTube side. So this is kind of the make or break. This year and sort of next year is definitely that sort of make or break period for me, because there's a lot of work goes into it, making the videos, coming up with the ideas, the editing, you know, having the lamp and the cameras everywhere. You know, there's a lot goes into it, And sometimes I just think, would it just not be easier if I just had a desk with my lamp and that's it, and not have to worry about filming and all that kind of stuff? So we'll see. We'll definitely go for it. I know generally it can take a few years to get a channel up and running, and that's why I'm going to continue pushing at it. But I'm going to go really hard this year. So there's going to be a lot of tutorials coming. I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be getting a box of intercessors. And I'm going to be doing some Space Marines. Black Mountain Wargaming have already requested I do an Imperial Fist tutorial. So there's going to be some. I've got some spare Horus Heresy Marines, so I'm going to be doing some tutorials for that. Like, would you want to be seeing some stuff like speed painting type things? Because the airbrushing stuff is going to be very much sort of like grim dark type style, you know, the Cult of Paint, the Metas miniature style stuff. I can still do the sort of heavy metal type tutorials, that sort of heavy metal style painting. Would anybody interested in seeing like my take on Slapchop, how I would incorporate an airbrush into doing Slapchop and stuff like that? I can do that. And if you want to see old world painting tutorials, let me know. If you want to see 40k Age of Sigmar, let me know. And as the channel gets better and bigger, I can invest more in those miniatures and do more of those sort of tutorials. I am going to be speaking to a local retailer about sponsoring me to do a series of videos. Basically, give me a box of models and paints, and I will produce all the videos and sponsor him. But I need to talk about affiliate links and all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, there's general talks about that in the background. I do want to do a chat about Army Painter and their paints, because I have picked up a few of them and I really, really like them, to the point where I'm tempted to switch my painting brand from Citadel over to Army Painter Fanatics. Now, I do know that Army Painter do follow my channel, so obviously, hi, if you want to send me things, feel free to send me a sample. But I do have quite a few of your paints sat right here, and I have been using them quite a lot. So yeah, there's going to be some interesting stuff I'm going to be wanting to do with them as well, which is kind of cool. But I have been waffling for nearly an hour. Yeah, we're coming up nearly an hour. So I reckon that's probably enough. That was the plan, is just deep this as an hour. Obviously, I was running a little bit late. So what I will do is I will call it there. And I will say thank you very much to everyone. Thank you, Mr. Mythos, for your incredible generosity. Thank you, everyone that was in chat, and everyone that is watching. And if you are watching this back, thank you. Please hit the subscribe button. It means a massive amount, and it's absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a penny. All it does is literally cost you a click. Clickety-click. Like, share, and all that stuff. Mainly, if you do want to keep up to date with what I'm up to, make sure you ring that bell. And you know, like the video. It all helps with the algorithm. And drop a comment and let me know, you know, the kind of tutorials and stuff that you want to do. If you do want to support me in other ways, I do have a members and Patreon, but obviously that's not required. You don't have to do that. You know, I do this as a hobby, not as a full-time job. So, you know, all that's going to do is just go back into getting stuff and creating stuff for the channel. All right, but that's the video, everybody, or the stream, should I say. And I will catch you all on Tuesday, 7 o'clock, for a 2-inch charge. And we'll have a little waffle. We'll have a little back about the LVO and the previews, and get really excited. And you can all giggle at me getting really, really excited at the Empress Children, because I know they're going to be amazing. And I'm going to be like a small, fat kid in a cake shop, getting all excited at the cream buns. So that's a bit. I will catch you all later. Bye-bye.